After working for years as a designer, Sophie Binder packed up her house, quit her job, and started off on the journey of a lifetime across 15 countries and 14,000 miles by bicycle. Instead of documenting her travels with photographs, Binder sketched her way across the United States, Europe, the Middle East, and the South Pacific. She told Vaninger all about it.
The adventure happened during 14 months when I was on the road, and then I realized that when I started to work on this book, there was another adventure starting, and I had no idea it was going to last for that long.
Our guest today on In the Loop is Sophie Binder, who has come back from a 13-month, is that right?
14 months.
14-month bicycle trip around the world.
That's right.
What were you thinking?
The idea was, when I left on this trip, was to draw as much as I could and to try to publish a book.
Over a decade has passed since Binder's solo trip across 15 countries and over 14,000 miles. Binder's originally from France, but has made her home in St. Louis for the past 20 years and returned here to begin work on her book, blending sketches, watercolors, photos, and journal entries into a visual story. The result is reminiscent of travel journals from times gone by. It is a rare book, full of stark and careful beauty. But the book's journey, filled with logistical obstacles, emotional ups and downs, and a maddening stint in publishing limbo, took almost 10 times as long as Binder's actual trip.
I contacted many publishers, and I got pretty much the same answer. Oh, this is a wonderful, wonderful project you have there, but you know, this is a full-on color book. Those are expensive to print. Publisher don't want to take a chance on somebody they don't know, and so I decided I'm going to do it myself. Just like when I left on that trip, you know, nobody wants to come with me. Well, I'll go.
Undaunted, Binder set up a crowdfunding campaign. Instead of simply donating, supporters placed a pre-order for the book.
So the campaign went really well, and I pre-sold enough books to pretty much pay for my printing costs.
The success of this plan took on physical form as Binder's home was slowly overrun with boxes upon boxes of her book. Signing and packing up each copy became a full-time job.
Right now is my reward, is to see people react to the book and react in a way that is very positive, very enthusiastic, and you know, that's validation for a lot of work and a lot of years spent, you know, going back over all those stories. Even so, now it is an emotional process for me. Those memories for me are physical. I remember some of them. I remember the weather. I remember what was going on. I remember this little guy that came and sat next to me. The thing about the sketch is that for me, they retain memories, and that's precious to me.
Pausing to observe and sketch solidified these memories, even in the most overwhelming of places.
India was an awakening. Challenge is a small world. I didn't have a very good map, so I had to kind of stay on the main roads. The traffic is horrendous. Sometimes there would be 4 or 5 vehicles across the road, including camels and cows. And then there was me at the bottom of the food chain. I was definitely after the cows.
Though she traveled through some of the most amazing scenery on Earth, Binder found her attention drawn more towards the people she encountered.
Women that I met in the Middle East, you know, women totally covered in a chador, asking me if I was happy. I am. I'm fulfilling a dream. It was really hard for her to understand that I could be happy because I was traveling by myself. It was really hard for me to understand that she was happy where she was. I learned to kind of step back a little bit from it and to refrain from judging too much. It's very easy to judge from the background you have, the tradition you have, what you were born with, what you are used to, when you don't have the whole story.
Traveling alone and at a cycling pace enabled Binder to get, if not the whole story, at least a deeper, broader understanding of the cultures and places she was pedaling through.
I arrived at the very north of Laos, and the only choice I had was to cross the Mekong into Thailand. And so I put my bike on the little, on the little boat.
Traveling by bike not only presented her as a non-threatening figure, but it also allowed for a more relaxed and flexible pace for sketching.
Sometimes because you sit to observe something, something else will happen. And that's kind of the magic of it, plus the people. My sketch have been a way to communicate with people where language was not possible. I had this amazing story of this kid in Damascus. He said something in Arabic to me, and I was just, I had the feeling of what he wanted, but I wasn't sure. And I asked the merchant behind me, who spoke a little English, what does he want? And he says, he wants to pay you to draw him. This is a 12-year-old kid. And I said, tell him that I'll draw him for nothing. And so he sat there, he was so proud. He was just posed, and I drew him and gave him the drawing, and he was just ecstatic. And so I finished the drawing I was doing when he interrupted me, and 10 minutes later the kid came back from the market, and he had bought me a pen to thank me.
The World, Two Wheels, and a Sketchbook is full of anecdotes and drawings that capture the generosity, tenacity, and curiosity of people from Kansas to Thailand, from New Zealand to Syria, and the varied beauty that graces the earth we all share.